at the goal.
And speak of familiarity, look at that nifty pass that Ginebra managed to sneak through that defense.
And you look at the players of Barangay Ginebra, the players that will really benefit the most by having Mark Caguioa back and JJ at full strength are guys like Eric Menk, because the defense have to extend out to their wings right now.
Good point. Ball is partially deflected and completely lost. Bell is all over Ginebra and he completes the heist. Gets it to curl away from the defense. Omalon to peek behind the backer.
Don Bell Delano making people forget that Ryan Reyes is no longer with his team. Already his second steal, and both steals coming out of a fast break of Barangay Ginebra, which they've translated to fast break or to turnover points.
Mank is sandwiched, but will visit the line after a foul.
So Eric Menk's been getting open. That means that the rotation of Santa Lucia right now, very poor. Seen it a number of times. Ali P getting caught in the middle, not knowing who to guard. So that's one of the quirks that they have to work on, having a new player on board.
Eric Menk has been in double digits in the last 3 games of Barangay Ginebra. And free throw brought to you by B-Meg Derby Ace Premium Formula. Dito pa na sa Liamado. I think the joy of a player is to be literally or practically injury-free. Back in form, back in groove. Hindi mo na iniisip masyado, hindi mo iniinda yung injury, and this is a good sign for Barangay Ginebra fans. In the meantime, Ali Peak's turnaround hook does not work. Delano has been on the floor, and Peak could have traveled. And the Realtors request for a ceasefire, down by 6. We'll be back with more after this. Into the Ginebra ceasefire, but last time around these two had actually collided in our first round, and the Realtors winning that time around 86-72. And look at the three-point shooting. You were beginning to discuss this matter.
But you know, when you look at that, look at those numbers. Santa Lucia won that. It was March 26 at the Cuneta, and the two numbers that you really pops out is the three-point shooting of Santa Lucia and the amount of turnovers Barangay Ginebra had. They were -10 in terms of turnovers, and that led to +14 in turnover points for Santa Lucia.
Talking of turning it over, let's send it to Leah.
All right, thanks, Sir Seb. Oh, I called you Sir Seb and Jason. Now, I spoke to Coach Jong Yuchiko before the game. He says the team is still trying to find the right combination, looking for the right chemistry in the face of so many changes in the lineup, plus getting a new import in Milton Ambres. Not Ambre, Jason. Now, they've been getting the wins, but they're actually barely scraping by. Mark Caguioa said the ball doesn't move. They have no teamwork, and everyone's playing sloppy. Now, Ambres says that they also have too many defensive lapses, allowing the other team to catch up. Today, Coach Jong says that they really have to stop Anthony Johnson, because without Ryan and Kelly, he is the focal point of Santa Lucia's offense. Back to you, Seven Jason.
Thank you, Leah. That was an interesting French lesson between the two of you. While we were preparing for this game, I was beginning to believe both of you, actually.
Pero bakit di niya ako sinner? Bakit di ko na sinner niya?
Medyo, baka naman, respetado naman lang niya yung lolo niya, di ba? Kahit konti.
Ako hindi niya ako sinner eh.
Na-offended ka? Offended ka?
Na-offend ako. Eh, bakit yung Royal Ambre?
Palagay ko, Leah, hindi titigil ito. In the meantime, Ali Peak, who had 2 good baskets earlier, has been guilty of the last 2 turnovers of Santa Lucia. And Ginebra is now raised to a 9-point lead. 3-point attempt will not work.
And it's interesting that we just saw the numbers on the victory of Santa Lucia against Ginebra in their first meeting. But when you look at this game, it's Barangay Ginebra has hit a number of threes already, and it's Santa Lucia turning the ball over. So different story, and that's why we have a different scoreline with Barangay Ginebra leading Santa Lucia.
And we're moving at a very fast clip. We're in fact down to 4-25 here in the opening quarter. Espinas down the baseline, tries to be artistic, ends up with nothing. Chambers over now to Mank into Kagiwa's hands. The turnaround. Yes! And Ginebra establishing a 13-point lead, their largest. And the timeout buzzer has been pressed. And we're going to use a 30 here. And of course our 30-second timeouts brought to you by Handy Fix. Ang first aid ng bahay mo, Banzol seals all.
Coach Boyet Fernandez forced to call his 30-seconder very early because he used his timeout at about the 6-minute mark because Barangay Ginebra was trying to build the lead. That didn't cure the problem. Right now forced to call another timeout in a span of 2.5 minutes. And this lead is really ballooning. But what we noticed for Santa Lucia, they're really feeding Ali Peak very early in this game.
Yes.
Trying to see what he can do for their team, but so far it hasn't worked. It hasn't been good for them. Although Ali Peak has had 2 points, he's only 1 out of 4 from the field, and he's turned the ball over 3 times.
We have Enrico Villanueva making his first appearance here today, pulling out Eric Mank. We're at the 3:57 mark of this opening period. 20-7 is our tally, and we see Marlo Aquino. And changes being made in the lineups. Kuminsan yung mga ganyan, palitan mo siya na nakakalimutan magpaalam kuminsan.
Well, the thing is, it was a 30-second timeout, and when you call a 30-second timeout, you're only allowed to replace 1 player. So, napalitan lang Peak for Marlo.
Kaya ako nabanggit yun kasi may dalawang taga Santa Lucia nakaabang ngayon.
Nakapila pa.
Nakapila pa. 3:38 to go. Everybody jumping up and down in front of Kagiwa. They fire an air ball, and the ball will go the other way. And here are the subs we were beginning to talk about. Nick Velasco makes his first appearance as a Realtor. Obistonto is also there. And we have Willie Wilson seeing action for the very first time. Coming down to 3:25, opening quarter. Very high screen, and it's a penetration that finds its way home. It's now 20-9.
And Anthony Johnson has to realize that Ryan Reyes and Kelly Williams are no longer with the team. He has to be the primary scorer. He has to be the one attacking the basket, and after that, try to get some help from his teammates.
Correct. That will not work from the outside, and the ball is punched away by Wilson. Ogie Minor sees action as a Realtor, and we're going to slide into a timeout. It's a full ceasefire. We'll avail of it. Be back in a moment. Barangay Ginebra surging with a 20-9 lead, as we remind you that Haynes is our official underwear here in the PBA. Now, is this a result of the chemistry adjustments they've had to make? It's just that Ginebra is going full throttle here, especially with that starting five that knew each other so well.
But obviously for Barangay Ginebra, although they haven't been consistent, at least they have 5 players that played on the floor that have played together since the start of the conference. And you look at the other side, Santa Lucia tried to go to Ali Peak, which we know that this is his first game as a Realtor. And even as a whole, when you look at the lineup of Santa Lucia, they only shot 30% from the field in that span. Obviously groping for form, and even their offense, a lot of watching or ball watching on their part.
Velasco fires from 16.